Trying to figure out. All right. I'm trying to figure out what would happen here. Let's see. That's Destiny. That's. Oh, wow. Hey, good evening. Good evening. How are you guys doing? Oh, my goodness. Well, guys, it is another Tuesday, and we are celebrating. Um, it is August 29th, and this is this gentleman's birthday. He would have been 65. Hmm, interesting. And I can't believe it's also the last Tuesday in August. Where did the time go? Oh my goodness. Well, we'll be talking MJ and TSU and a few other things. And you'll probably try to figure out, why is she wearing all this? It is, and we are back with Talk on Tuesday. Oh my goodness. I see I've had some issues here, but it's all good. It's all good. Let's go ahead and let's get started. Thank you very much, Kevin, for saying happy birthday to the king of pop, that is. Now let me see if I can get this up. It's time to get going. Let's go. Woohoo! It's another Talk on Tuesdays, guys. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm so happy that you guys are here joining me for another edition of Talk on Tuesdays. Man, oh man, did I have a full weekend. I'm going to get to all of that. But of course, as they all usually say, we got to we got to pay some bills here. So let me do what I usually do. And that is to let you all know, Talk on Tuesdays. We're here every Tuesday at 8 p.m. Central. And you know what, I'm going to change it to ish. 8 p.m. ish, 9 p.m. ish. And that would be Eastern Standard Time. And then also, if you are interested in starting your own platform like the one you're looking at right now, and you are a fan of Interludes, you know what? We're celebrating our three year anniversary back in June. We're so excited for everyone that has been a fan and has been doing our thing. And I can't believe it. Summer is winding down. It's coming to an end. But if you'd like to become a fan of Interludes, our platform, join us on Patreon. And then, of course, our affiliate sponsor here is Legal Shield. If you need a trust or will to be prepared or updated, or if you're worried about identity theft, that usually happens, unfortunately, and you have a business that you would like to protect or trademark, learn how Legal Shield can help represent your legal needs at a fraction of the cost. Please visit the website linktr.ee/Pure Media for more information. And I'll have Mr. Springer place that information about Legal Shield in the chat. Oh, wow. As we get going here with our Talk on Tuesdays, oh my gosh, let's see who's here. I'm always happy to see the audience. And I see Mr. Harrison, our former guest that was here a couple of weeks ago. Good to see you, Eric. Go ahead and give us a shout there in the chat. Thank you so very much, Kevin, for putting that in the chat as well. And oh my gosh, for subscribers, we are so close. I'm glad YouTube has changed some of the requirements. They've changed some of the requirements to you don't have to get paid after having 1,000. It has now been lowered to 500. Woo! We're getting so close. We're getting so close, and it's because of wonderful folks like Mr. Nelson. It's Daniel. How you doing? I meant to call you back. It's been a very busy day. Very busy day. And of course, yes, we are so close to that as well. Oh my gosh. It was an interesting weekend, I have to say. And I was looking for the photos. I didn't know where they were, but we're going to be celebrating this gentleman right here today. It's his birthday. I'm all excited. And I was in Brooklyn. Let me stop this for a second. I was in Brooklyn and got a chance to see Spike Lee do this whole Michael Jackson MJ situation. Now, of course, everyone would like to say that this is the best album that Michael produced. Now, you guys are probably like, what is this? For my younger people, this is a record. This is vinyl. Vinyl. Do we know what vinyl looks like? I'm being completely hilarious here. So I see Mr. Wise is in the building. Thank you so very much. Wise knows what this is. It's vinyl. That's right. This is a strange situation. This is my scratched up vinyl here. This was one of my favorites to actually physically DJ with. So this is Michael. Uh, oh gosh, how many albums did this sell? 25 million, like within the first 6 to 7 months. And of course, I love the tiger. You guys see the tiger? Oh my gosh, this is so hilarious. Anyway, and then of course, Michael has been one of the most influential artists of our generation. Oh my goodness. And what I'm going to do is ask Kevin to place in the chat and ask you guys what is your favorite. I'm going to not favorite song. We're going to go favorite album. I physically do not have Off the Wall. I don't know where it is. It's somewhere in this house. But I'm showing Thriller, so that's a favorite of many folks. And then of course, the Bad album. Yes, I'm showing the actual vinyl, ladies and gentlemen. Isn't that cool? And here's the thing. Uh with vinyl, you usually have to put the label of the record. Usually have to put the label, the name of the company on here along with the title. But Michael was so bad that he was like, "No, I want my name all over it." And the title too. There's Michael. Hee hee. Yeah, so vinyl is hilarious. Oh my gosh. So I see people are saying hello. Grand rising, grand evening, everyone. Queen Lakeisha, thank you so much for being there. You guys are just making friends in the chat, having a good old time. I get it, I get it, I get it. But Michael would have been, as I said a little bit earlier, he would have been 65 years young today. And unfortunately, he passed away in 2009 in preparation for his This Is It tour. Now, if you see here to the side, I have Spike Lee. Spike Lee loves doing this Michael Jackson, MJ, Prince block party. I was in Brooklyn unfortunately, for another reason, for the passing of one of my friends. But I was on my way to another event and I heard all this music. And then I got off the bus, got off, and went into Fort Greene Park. And then what a wonderful surprise to see this a couple of DJs kind of battling it out. Then people were dancing. It was a whole thing. So I think Spike has been doing this for about, I want to say a little over 7 to 8 years. He started doing this annual celebration for MJ as well as Michael, and I was just loving it. But I have to say, and then recently I got a chance to go to MJ musical. That was last week. I know you guys are hearing something like that. So the MJ musical is on Broadway in Chicago, and then also Broadway in New York, probably for a little bit. And that's the name of the theater that it's playing at. So if you guys are here in the Chicagoland area, that's the theater, the James M. Nelander Theater. It's an excellent show. And I really had a good time. And it kind of reminded me of some music that I forgot about. Now, of course, as I move on, that's from the Beat It album. Okay, let's see. Oh, here we go. Who remembers, and I got to stop sharing so you all can see this album. Now, this is not Michael. This is when he was with the Jacksons. Yeah, that's right. Ladies and gentlemen, I have the record. I'm so proud of this. I'm so proud of myself. I got the record. Oh, goodness. Thank you so very much. How are you, Chris Robinson? Hello. How are you doing? And everybody, and someone saying hard choice, but Wise says he's going to go with Thriller. Where's Thriller? He's hanging out here. So he's going to hang out. So the favorite choice for Wise is Thriller. The best visual is the actual record album. You can't get any better than this. So go ahead if you have a favorite album of Michael, and let me give you guys some choices. Let me roll through this. Yeah, there we go. So you have all of these to choose from, all of the albums. So do that. So I see Eric has stated Off the Wall. That's one of my favorites too. Because I believe I Can't Help It is on that one as well. Then there's the History album. That's a double CD. That's somewhere in this house. It's somewhere floating around. And of course, Michael Jackson's Invincible. That was his last recorded album. Of course, Kevin Springer would like Bad. Come on, there you go. I got that. Well, this is a single. This is like an extended mix single. That's not the album. That's the single. Okay, so Chris says Off the Wall and Thriller are close second. Yeah, that's about right. Because all of the albums that you're seeing here, let me go back and present here. I'm looking at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 albums. So that's a magical number. I'll tell Coach in a minute. So that's a magical number, 7. So he did his thing. And I believe there were hits on all of these albums, all of them. Ben, someone mentioned that earlier. They mentioned Ben, the song from one of those soundtracks or something like that. So I get it. Who else? What is your favorite album? So that shortens the list. Not your favorite single, not your favorite dance off, not that, an album. So right there, I got you all. You can cheat right there. You can take a look and see which one is your favorite album. So we had Mr. Springer with Bad. We had did anyone say Dangerous? Did anyone like the Dangerous album? I'm wondering. And then of course we have, okay, so Mr. Springer says, I would like to highlight to Moonwalker, great selection of videos. So Moonwalker also had the Smooth Criminal, where he kept repeatedly asking the question, Annie, are you okay? Now I gotta stop sharing again for this, because I have a serious question for the audience out there. Who was Annie and why wasn't she okay? Michael, could you tell us what I never understood. He kept asking over and over again, Annie, are you okay? Anyway, funny. I see Queen Lakeisha has said that her favorite Michael Jackson album is Thriller. So this is fun. I had a fun room on Clubhouse earlier in the day, and we just had a blast. I know I was trying to wrap the room and say, okay, this is the last song. And then other people kept making requests for songs. And then I kept getting downloads like, why don't you try this song? And why don't you share this song? And I got all excited. So I turned into a DJ a little bit earlier. For the purposes of not getting kicked off of YouTube, or licensing issues with YouTube, we will not be playing any Michael song. We will just be looking at the pictures and enjoying and reminiscing, humming those songs in our head. So let me do this. So Michael Jackson, born in 1958, and unfortunately he left us a little over 12 years ago, 13 years ago, or I'm counting, my numbers are off, 14 years ago, 2009, 2023. So it's been a long minute, but we're going to be celebrating Michael on today, and I am excited. But anyway, wow. I have to say, what did you guys do over the weekend? I got a chance to see a block club party, so that was fun. Let us know what you did over the weekend, and then anything exciting happened with you. Unfortunately, a report, the writers and actors strike is still going on. There were a couple of negotiations where people did come to the table, but nothing has been 110% agreed upon. So people are bracing for this actor-writer strike to continue through the fall. And I know the fall is literally right around the corner. Totally interesting. So I am going to bring on and I see the coaches here, so that's always exciting. But I'm telling you guys, this has been a quick. I feel like this summer went by really quick. I don't know about anybody else, but I feel like the summer went by really quick. Oh my goodness. Well, now it's time to bring on the other person. And thank you so very much. Thank you so much, Mr. Springer, for asking. What did you do over the weekend? I went to a block club party in Brooklyn. How about you? So we'll see what your answers are as we bring on this young man here. Okay. Chris said he just chilled this past weekend. I know. We got to chill. We have got to chill. Okay, here we go. So we're going to bring on this gentleman. It's Coach Tony. Here we go.
Val, the voice. Hey, you know that you always riding shotgun with me. You know that, Val? Always.
Of course. Yay,
so,
I am.
And since you ride shotgun, I got your back, right?
Yes, you have my back. So what is up? So what you got? Oh my gosh, you have it, ladies and gentlemen. He's got it. Oh my goodness, we are so corny on Talk on Tuesdays. We are so corny.
I wouldn't be the coach if I didn't have that on my DJ skill. And by the way, the song of the century off of that is "Don't Stop Till You Get Enough." Come on now.
Oh, that's one of my favorite songs, or up-tempo songs that I like from Off the Wall. I Can't Help It is one of my other favorites from that. And then, of course, look at the love that you're getting from the chat. Coach, it's Eric, our former guest. He's saying, my dude,
hey,
Christopher agrees with
baby?
you 100%. He agrees with you 100%. And of course, Southside brother, the Wild 100s.
Wild 100, what's going on, Chris? Hey, I saw my boy Wise out there. That's good. Hey, we've got a show and a half tonight, so I appreciate you guys. But I'm going to tell you off the top, if Val didn't already tell you, this is one of the fastest upcoming shows, of course, to my like I said, ride shotgun with me, my girl, Val, the voice. You already know me. I'm Coach Tony. I'm going to do what I do. But, this is Interludes Talk on Tuesday. If you haven't pushed the subscribe button, you better do it. We're going to continue to bring you that latest, greatest, to continue to hit you upside the head. And Val, you remind me something when you said that you at the Spike Lee joint this past weekend, right?
I was, yep.
And it was in Fort Greene. So if you remember, there was also a verse that talked about that in Slick Rick's children's stories.
Oh, it sure was. Yes.
Set it off.
I totally forgot about that. Yes.
So that just circumvent everything. And you gave me another one. I didn't realize that this was Michael's 7th album, which makes me love him even more because everything close to me was 7. When I pledged, I was 7 online. All my birthday is in July. All my kids' birthday is in July. And things happen to be good to me having the number 7. So I appreciate you on that.
Yeah. And I have to tell you, it is when I saw Alejandro, thank you so very much for being here. Grace and peace to you, sir. Oh my goodness.
Baby, what's going on, girl? How you doing?
So I'm sitting here going, when I saw this, I want to say the advertisement for the Prince, Michael Jackson. And here's the thing. Both Prince and Michael Jackson, I felt like, left us too soon. Michael was in 2009. Prince was in 2016. And the two of them, I don't think they ever performed together, but their combined, I want to say, catalogs is got to be anywhere from 70 to 100 hours of music, maybe more, maybe 500.
Oh, yeah. And for Springer, I'm going to give you your what you're thinking question of the day, right? So Springer can post this. Think about this, Val. We are pandemic. So what came about in the pandemic? The verses. Can you imagine a verses with Prince and Michael? So I just want to know what you're thinking. Who you think would have won that versus? You know, I love Michael, but I'm a diehard Prince fan, so I'm about to go with the Purple Man.
Oh my God! So here we go. So we're gonna put it out there. If there was a versus Michael versus Prince, who would win?
Yes, that's a good question tonight.
I don't know. Like I feel this is one of my few Prince albums that I have on tap right here. But I'm just saying, Michael and Prince. I feel like that's an unfair comparison. Like I can't.
Well, you got the dancer versus the musician, right?
But they're both musicians.
Yeah, but Michael didn't play the instruments like Prince. Come on now.
I did.
Nah. And Prince could still get jiggy with it on the stage. So yeah, I'm just saying, he was 4'12", but he could still get it at it.
All right, my goodness. Can you imagine a versus with Prince and Michael? What you
goodness.
Mr. Springer got your back on that. So
appreciate that.
About it. I don't know. I'm a little afraid to know what answer would be. Now, here's the thing. Prince did play, I want to say anywhere from 7 to 10 instruments, maybe more. Michael did play music. I felt like he did, but there was something about, I felt like Michael had been performing longer than Prince.
Sure.
Michael had been performing since he was
5 years old.
5 or 6 years old, right? And I felt like he didn't know any other life outside of musicianship. Prince came to us. He might have been doing music for a long time, but we didn't come to know of him until 77, 78 with the For You album. I think that's one of the Prince album.
I think first album was Dirty Minds.
No, it wasn't.
Okay.
It wasn't. It was Roger
Nelson. That's right, Roger Nelson.
Right. So I think the first one was where he's
Afro on the
Right, exactly. So okay, so Eric is going,
Hey, E, I know you, E, and I know that's gonna make you think tonight. I want to know at the end of the show. I want to know what you're thinking, though.
Okay, so here is Daniel. He says Prince has bars, but Michael has the moves. What do you think about that?
I give you 100% thoughts, but I just said, Prince gonna sit you down and talk crazy to you. Michael gonna try to whisper in your ear. You know what I'm saying? Dance you off the stage. Prince gonna grab that musician. So I want to, Spring. I would love to figure out a way we can count the tally up. I would just love to see it there tonight. One for Michael, one for Prince. So that was good. But Val, again, this show tonight is near and dear to my heart, because I guess we got on the show tonight is none other than an illustrious brother of mine, from Kappa Alpha Psi, by way of Nashville to Knoxville, Tennessee, and University of Tennessee, and then came back to Nashville, Val. So I guess tonight it's going to come down and talk to us something near and dear to our hearts tonight.
Yeah, and as we wait for our guests, I have to say, do you see this? I don't know how Spike got the golden guitar that Prince used to play. You see that? He's got a golden guitar. Isn't that nice?
Oh, I didn't know that. I didn't see that.
Yeah, exactly. I'm sitting here going, what in the world? So what happened was, I think he did like a giveaway or something during the block club. Now, I was only able to be at the block club party for about an hour. I was in between events. I heard D Nice rocked it out and kind of battled it out with another DJ as well. And then there were some other folks that came on promoting some of their businesses, and it was fun. It was good to see everyone either dress up like Prince or Michael. So I definitely have to say that. But and here's Eric. Eric says that he has to go with Prince. He agrees with you. He's going with Prince. I totally get it. It's probably because of the purple. Wise says that I love Coach Tony, but Michael had that killer instinct like Jordan and Kobe. I'm choosing MJ.
Ooh. Ooh,
There
ooh.
you go. There you go. And
That's, you know,
yeah, so
yeah, I think wise on that one. Michael didn't get a chance to do a movie like Prince.
yeah, well, he did a lot of short films. I'll put it like this. I love Michael's short films. He did The Smooth Criminal. He did The Moonwalker, which was a short film. He did
Thriller.
Thriller. Come on, that was
Yeah,
iconic. Come on,
Thriller was iconic.
he was iconic with that. And then there was a long form for the bad music video. And guess what popular actor was in the bad video at the very beginning telling him, "You ain't bad." Come on.
Was that Wesley Snipes?
It sure was. There you go. There you go.
I thought it was.
And Mr. Springer reminds you that Michael was in The Wiz. He did have an acting role.
Oh, that's right. But it wasn't Michael's movie there, Mr. Springer.
It doesn't matter. He was acting. He was acting. And because of the connection to The Wiz, Mr. Thompson, Coach Thompson, he was able to hook up with Quincy Jones. Quincy Jones was a music producer with Charlie Smalls on The Wiz. I know that because I've watched the film
that show was loaded.
Time.
It was loaded too, Val. You got to think about the talent that was in that movie, The Wiz. I got to give it to you on that one. I mean, think of Diana Ross. I mean, that movie was loaded with talent. Nipsey Russell. I mean, it was just incredible. And and the funny part about it, think about that, Val. That was at the time, right? That you really had to come home, sit down with your parents and have a dinner and watch TV.
Very much so. Yes, yes. And I have to say that here's Eric. He says, I would have loved to have heard what was in Prince's vault. I think a couple of songs and I think one or two albums were released from the vault, but they've been slipping out, but I hear that there's hundreds and hundreds of songs that's in Prince's vault. So he was producing, and I don't like it. And we never heard it, but they all might get released over in our lifetime. So I'm wondering about that. And of course, what was that thing with Michael Jackson? I heard his voice, "Baby, love never felt so good" with Justin Timberlake, and I was just like, I want to like it, but I didn't like that Justin was on there. Plus, I didn't like what happened with him and Justin and Janet. But I'm gonna leave that alone. That's a whole nother conversation. We ain't getting into that. Okay, wait a minute. We got Daniel going back and forth. Michael, on the other hand, okay, wait. Okay, Michael, let's start here. Prince wrote many songs for many artists. Well, Michael wrote also songs for other artists as well. Hits like Manic Monday for the Bangles, Nothing Compares to You, which was famously covered by Sinead O'Connor. Okay, and he also wrote songs for Sheila E., Chaka Khan, and The Time, among others. Michael, on the other hand, primarily focused on his own music career. Michael, on the other hand, okay, so here's the thing, Daniel, you are right up to a point. Michael did eventually start to write for other folks, and thank goodness I did my Clubhouse room earlier today, so I was able to figure this out. Michael wrote for his big sister, Rebe. Remember the song Centipede? So he wrote that song for her, and then of course he started his own record label like Prince. I think Prince had a couple of record labels, Paisley Park and a few other stuff. He did an MJ record label and a very famous 3-girl harmony group named Brownstone.
Yeah, I was gonna say, because what you were getting, Wise, and what you were getting, Springer.
No, that was Daniel. That was Daniel that mentioned that.
What you guys were getting, that's why my man Eric and my homeboy Chris with me, y'all forget Michael didn't have an Apollonia 6, baby.
Oh boy. Did Michael want an Apollonia 6? I don't know.
Yes, he did.
I don't think that was his vibe. But
yeah,
then again, I don't know because he, I don't think that was his vibe. But there you go. But and here's my Michael cert in memory of Michael. There you go. And then of course you see what I got. And then I got on my socks jersey, one of the few jerseys I have. My goodness.
Hey, you Southside that White Sox. I'm not even gonna go down there. I like that already.
I know. And as we get into the conversation about music and hip hop, and them making that, I like to call it that cross pivotal thing. My goodness, Coach Tony sent me this wonderful video that was produced, and I was thinking
It was awesome.
It talked about hip hop, and it talked about the influence of the White Sox jersey and the White Sox hat on hip hop culture. I completely forgot that if you didn't want to be, I guess, associated with either, and this was happening in Los Angeles, the blood of the Crips, you had to choose a neutral color. A neutral color was like black and white, I guess, and silver.
Yep, black and white, and same thing that was in Chicago at that time. You got to remember, during the time we was coming up at the time early on with the same thing with the games in Chicago, because we never really had Bloods and Crips. We had Disciples and Vice Lords. So, to separate the two, same thing. The neutral color was black and white. But what I found most interesting in this piece, Val, that I sent you in Springer, was that how the hat, it didn't come synonymous to 1989 to NWA, Dr. Dre, and Ice Cube. Them drops the NWA F the Police album. And when Cube and Dre and Snoop and everybody put that Sox hat on, everybody wanted to be like them. And Ice Cube talks in his piece about how New York and the West Coast is already, feuding. And the only city that wasn't a part of that feud was Chicago. So that's what, if you remember, Val, last week I said Chicago was called what? The Mid-Coast, because it was in the middle of both coasts and they didn't know which way to pull them. And when Cube ended up doing his show and the NWA popped that White Sox hat on, in 1989, 1990, before the Bulls won their first ring, the Chicago White Sox gear was the #1 selling merchandise worldwide.
Yeah, right. Crazy. And I did not realize how much the White Sox, literally, and they changed the colors, they changed the writing of it, and it just that iconic Sox hat as well as the jersey was seen in, I want to say, the vast majority of a lot of West Coast rappers and their hip hop. And who was this? I think when I heard Ice Cube say, I did the Raiders cap when I was with NWA, but when he started to break out on his own, when he was dropped from NWA, he said he wanted to do his own thing. So then you started to see him do that cap. But as the baseball season wraps up, it's a big shout out, and I felt love given to Chicago and specifically the South Side regarding that. And I have to say, who is chatting? I see our guest has made it in, so this is wonderful. So Eric says South Side, that's what's up. Oh my gosh,
South Side, you already know. You already know. Yeah, we already know. Hey, now I got some news that just came. I keep you guys up to date. So Val, I don't know if you're gonna like this, Eric. I don't know if you're gonna like it, but of course it'll make me happy. Fresh off the press that I read today, that the Chicago White Sox are thinking about relocating to none other than Nashville, Tennessee.
No, they need to stay on the South Side. No, there's no White Sox in a different. No, they need to stay in Chicago.
But Val, you know how it is. They want to hang out with their boy Coach Tony, so they got to come with me. You know what I'm saying?
Oh my gosh, you are too hilarious. I cannot believe that. Well, hey, Coach. Who's here? Who's here visiting with us today?
Again, my illustrious brother from Kappa Alpha Psi, my man. I've been knowing my guy. We go way back like a pair of dirty socks on the baseball field. We go back. And, this gentleman is not only has worked and climbed his way up the ladder, but he is now back at the HBCU level making a difference. It's my guy, none other than Dr. Mikki Allen.
All right, Dr. Allen, welcome. Hey, here he is.
Man, what's up, bro?
What's going on, Fred? You doing all right, Tom?
Man, I'm good tonight. I'm good. Glad that you could just I know you're busy, man. I'm just glad you can pull away to jump on one of the hottest shows coming up with Val, Voice, and myself. And really appreciate it.
Hey, no doubt, man. Hey, with that intro, man, you brought me in like I was coming out on Def Comedy Jam, brother.
No, I said, man, I'm not spinning the field.
Right. No, man, but no, I appreciate you all having me on. Heard a lot about what you all are doing in this space and great energy. I love
Man.
being around good people. Yeah.
But we having some fun out here now, Dr. Allen, we having some fun and it's good, the audience we got is nationwide, New York, Chicago, Miami to California, and we try to bring good things on them, and so that the audience on tonight, we're talking a little bit before you jumped out here about Michael Jackson and Prince, and I put a little question out there for him. If we had a versus going on right now, that's the big thing. Ooh, is it Michael or is it Prince on the verses?
Oh man, I gotta go with the king, man. Hey, that's Mike, man. Yeah. Mike. Now Prince, man. Prince brought it, but Mike just is. I mean, he dominated the charts. So I gotta go with Mike. And when you think of PYT and Human Nature, and
yeah, I love the Human Nature.
Yeah, man. Then he did the collab with what is that, Floetry with Butterfly. I mean,
that was ridiculous.
His latest tunes and tracks, they're classics, and he was definitely an icon. Prince was as well too now. But I'm gonna go with Mike. I'm gonna stay with the flat shoes and the moonwalk instead of the
flat shoes and the moonwalk. And grabbing across the stage.
Dr. Allen, my favorite performance of Michael Jackson was the Motown 25. And when all of the brothers were on, and then of course he did the classic Billie Jean with the white glove and the white socks and did the moonwalk.
Come on, man.
Come on, man. Isn't that iconic?
It was like time stopped. Wasn't it?
Yes.
It was like everybody remembers that moment, and it was his stage, and it's like, okay, I'm gonna moonwalk and I'm gonna separate myself from my brothers.
and I give y'all that piece because we all grew up back in the day. So back in the day, we were trying to pop lock, and every pop lock, you couldn't be a pop lock if you ain't had a moonwalk in there, right?
Come on now. Yeah. I mean,
you know that, pal.
Because you went. I guess you went breaking. You had Ozone and Turbo, and
there you go, Turbo
in there, and then Mike just changed the game, man, and he took everybody from the breaking out of the Electric Boogaloo to the moonwalk, man, and he just, like I said, man, iconic figure, individual that really transformed the music and in the dance world. So no. Yeah, he's missed, man.
Man, that is
this would have been his 65th birthday, Dr. Allen.
Yeah. I know. I've seen that across social media, and just to think Michael Jackson would have been 65. I guess there's some people that grace this beautiful earth that I guess they weren't meant to be old. They weren't.
You see, I got the answer for you too, Mick. I got that.
He has my favorite album, Dr. Allen. You see it?
Okay, yeah.
I got it off the wall for you.
Yeah, off the wall. Yeah.
Hey, these young cats, they don't know about all that. They
don't know. Dr. Allen, of the 7 albums that Michael recorded, what's your favorite? Because we can't do favorite singles. That's too many to mention. But 7 albums. Of the 7 albums, which one would you say is your favorite?
I would say Off the Wall. It's just a classic. Yeah,
classic.
That's the classic. You had Human Nature in there.
Don't stop till you get enough.
I'd have to go there. I'm all about how it starts, right? And so a lot of people like the finish, the finished product. I like when it was just rough grind.
Yeah, when he still had the big nose, right?
That part. Yeah. But everything was in that record because that was the one that took him on that solo run, and he put his heart and soul in it, and it came out. But no, nothing against Thriller and Beat It. They all were their albums had their relevance in time, but that would be my favorite.
Yeah, and here's a joke from one of our audience members, Dr. Allen. Oh my goodness, we were asking about Annie, "Are you okay?" from Smooth Criminal, and Annie, I just asked the question earlier: what happened to Annie and why wasn't she okay? So Daniel said Annie can be allergic to peanuts, Prince would write a ballad, but now Annie's eating peanuts dressed in purple. Daniel, I don't understand. We have crazy audience members. It's very hilarious.
Yeah. Very, come on, Daniel.
Right. Well, hey, man, I don't know where Annie got the peanuts from, but I'm just saying.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But we can, notice, Coach, Dr. Allen is showing all of his teeth reminiscing about the music, and just I'm always thinking about that intersection between sports and music, sports and hip hop.
Mm-hmm.
How do you see it? How do you see how music has influenced sports on the collegiate level as well as the professional?
The professional realm. So you'll see today, the athletes. They want to be around the entertainers, and vice versa. Entertainers always are courtside or in a luxury box around some of the greatest athletes. You look at LeBron's interaction with Drake, and vice versa. With Travis Scott and some of these artists. It's the rhythm. When you're an athlete, if you're a great athlete, you're playing with a rhythm and a beat. It's a cadence. And that cadence starts pre-game. You're on the bus or you're on the flight. You got your earphones on. You're rocking. And those songs, I'm telling you, they stick with you. I mean, it was times I played in Neyland Stadium and other arenas, and I could have sworn, I'm opting out moves to Jay-Z's Encore.
Yes.
Myself.
Encore. Do you want more?
Come on. And I put my foot in the ground. I'm getting missing.
Right. Like right now. Like whoever in front of me better be stepping because I'm about to get him.
That's it. So I think it's just that vibe and two, a lot of our kids on our team, my student athletes, they love music. We embrace that. That's part of our HBCU culture. It's a rhythm on our campus. We love it. We embrace it. Coach George, after we win a game, he's a Philly, he's a Philly product. So he's gonna put on his Meek Mill.
Yeah,
Nightmare, right?
Yeah, he's gonna put that Meek back. You could have got on him and told him to go back older and get on some of that DMX. Go on some of that real anthem.
Yeah, you used to get that
And speaking of them, it's so funny. Again, everybody, we talked to Dr. Mikki Allen, Tennessee State University Athletic Director, tonight here with Val DeVois and myself, Coach Tony on Interludes Talk on Tuesday. A lot of people, Dr. Allen, don't realize that this is the first weekend of a Power 5 in Notre Dame University, taking on an HBCU, which has the largest logo of any of the HBCUs in that Tennessee Tiger logo. But tell me and us, what does that mean to you as a young athletic director to come in, change the face of what the program is looking like, and then within your young tenure as an athletic director, to be able to be on a national showcase, NBC? What does that mean to Tennessee State University, its alumni, and the football players who played many, many years ago and now up to par? Tell us how's that going?
Well, in 2020, I took over a program that has a long-standing history, an iconic program, and I'm bringing my Power 5 experience. I've spent a lot of time on the Hill at Tennessee, but also spent a large portion of my life on the Tennessee State campus as well. My grandfather's history, both of them went there. My wife's a graduate, my brother as well. And so, and I got my graduate degree there, and I always wanted the job. I always wanted it. It didn't matter when it was offered to me. I wanted to be in a position to take it over and bring flavor to it that would renew and restore the history, the proud history and tradition of Tennessee State football and athletics in general. And so we've done that. We've been intentional on scheduling. Scheduling is important in the HBCU realm. We've tried to schedule HBCU homecomings. That's important. We got Norfolk State this year. We had Bethune last year. We're working on some prominent HBCU institutions to play for homecoming. I think that's important. Getting our John Merritt Classic back to an earlier game that features prominent HBCUs, talking Alabama A&M and some others. But then when you look outside of that HBCU footprint, it's important that you're playing Power 5 institutions like Notre Dame and we're playing North Dakota State, which is a powerhouse in FCS football. But we're doing this because our kids deserve to be on the national stage. Our program deserves to be on network. I remember when they used to have BET used to feature HBCU institutions. They need to go back. Remember that? But ESPN, we're trying to make sure that we push the envelope to make sure that our HBCUs get the proper exposure. And that's important for our student athletes, because if they get the exposure, then that's the front door that they need to audition to play on the next level. There's a lot of talent. We've had over 121 former student athletes that grace the campus of Tennessee State University. And so, and then when you look at, we're the only HBCU that has an active NBA player, Robert Covington. Dick Barnett.
Chi-Town.
Yeah, two Chi-Town. Two yellow coats and Richard Dent, Claude Humphreys. We have Ed Too Tall Jones that needs to be in the hall. So we have an entertainment value with a Grammy Award winning AOB, and we bring a lot of flavor, man, in our conference. When we play, everybody comes to see our band and our team, and they come to see us show out, right?
That's what Val was talking about, and tell him, Val.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
I was thinking, this show covers the Grammy Awards, and when it was mentioned that Tennessee State won for a Grammy for that song that they did, I'm thinking, well, Tennessee State, they got nominated and they won. Oh my gosh, this is huge! And what did that mean for TSU? What did that mean, that Grammy win?
Well, I mean, it's the band. I say the band and athletics. When you look at marketing, visibility, just being that magnet for the institution, because the band and athletics always say we're the front porch. We're on center stage, and we're a conduit to really be that attractive piece for a student to look in high school, like, hey, where am I going to spend the next 4 years of my life? Right. And so those two entities, when they're at the forefront and they're rocking and we're doing things first class, it bodes well for the institution and the advancement of the mission of the institution. And that's what I tell our staff. That's what I tell our student athletes that sign to become a part of our program. You represent Tennessee State University, but you also are a part of continuing the legacy and drawing students like yourself to come be a part of what we got going on, especially in Nashville, Tennessee.
Oh, that's nice. And this weekend is so busy because down the street in this little bitty city called Chicago, there's other HBCU in the Valley and Pine Bluff coming to play in Soldiers Field, and it's crazy because you got two big powerhouses in the Midwest, which there's no HBCUs. So having to say that, when I'm telling you, man, Mick, this is huge opportunity just to put that HBCU logo, in the forefront of the Midwest. Because I can tell you, as a PWI student myself, I didn't really realize what the HBCU were when I was coming up. Obviously, now I got someone like Val in Chicago. We talk to the kids. When I go back home, I'm always wearing my TSU stuff. I get people stopping me all the time, So looking at this game that's coming up this particular weekend, looking at the HBCU game that's going to be in Soldiers Field, how does that impact other HBCU programs that now that these other programs, these Power 5 programs, need to really take a serious look and open the door and get some of these teams an opportunity?
Yeah, my hat goes off all the time. I'm not wearing one, but I tell the AD there, Jack, we have a good relationship. Coach Freeman's a new coach at Notre Dame. And when this game was scheduled and we worked with that institution, they've never played an HBCU, nor have they ever played Notre Dame. They've never played an FCS opponent. And so they said, hey, if we're going to play an HBCU for the first time, we want to play Tennessee State because of the history and some of the things that I mentioned prior. But across the board, what we're hoping is programs in the SEC. You look at all the shift in the collegiate landscape with conference shifts. You want HBCUs like your North Carolina A&T, Howard, and some of these institutions, not to just get a big payday and a big guarantee, but to have a program that looks in and says, hey, we're a Power 5, but let me look at an institution in the HBCU landscape that does things on a high level and marries and matches with what we reflect as an institution, because it's all about institutional alignment. And and I think that's why Notre Dame said, hey, we want to play Tennessee State, and we've heard nothing but positive feedback on events that are going on in the city of South Bend, Indiana. And
gonna show them how to say it.
Oh man, they got a lot of their sororities and fraternities, legacy on the legacy and alum side. They're doing events. I know our contingent, our institutional advancement office, and a lot of our alums are connecting with the school system there, going out and delivering messages to these schools and saying, hey, there's an HBCU and there's multiple HBCUs that are out there, but look at Tennessee State. This is what we have to offer from an academic standpoint. So we're using the full experience to make sure that we showcase and celebrate what we have to offer in that community.
Man, that is, I'm left speechless on that. Again, we're talking to Dr. Mikki Allen, the athletics director, Tennessee State University. Any of you guys out there, and females, young men, young women, running track, football, basketball, interested in Tennessee State, reach out to Coach Allen, Director Allen, and ask for some additional information. Looking at other programs on the university.
Hey, T, there's also a lot of we got a big alumni chapter there in Chicago, and
huge.
I was just about to mention that. Dr.
Val know about that piece, man. Huge. The will always support you, big time.
And with Chicago, and you just mentioned this, Dr. Allen, with Chicago having the largest TSU alumni legacy students, in other words, the kids that are coming now are their parents or their grandparents attended TSU. What does that mean to continue that legacy at TSU with attracting the programs to come and to participate with what you guys have set up for TSU? The
legacy is huge because and you see that a lot at HBCU institutions where someone broke the ice and attended the HBCU and they passed that experience down to the next member of their family, and it just continues and it almost becomes a situation where there's no choice when a kid comes out of high school. It's like, oh, you know where you're going.
You're going to Tennessee State.
Yeah,
we know where you're going.
Auntie went there, uncle went there, mom went there. You know what to do. Hold on. And then too, the most important part about the legacy students are that, and what I would continue to encourage individuals that graduated from HBCUs to do is continue to invest back in the programs in which you graduated from, because once that investment is made back, that's passed down over generations and generations. And what happens is endowments become larger, scholarship endowments, and these programs such as the College of Engineering, Agriculture, Nursing, Sports Management, Business. Now they have the resources where they can go out and recruit the best talent, the most talented students out there in the landscape. And then when you start turning that US News, top 25 universities, hey, we need to push and get our HBCUs up there. And that's how you do it. You do it.
Those have been great.
And let me jump in here again. The one thing that I have in myself, and as Coach mentioned, were both people that attended PWIs. I think about Stump the Yard. I think about Drumline. These are the films that come to mind when I think about an
So
HBCU, kind of that fictitious role.
School
And
days.
school days, and
Come
then
on.
of course a lot of people. And I did this podcast a couple of months back, and it was kind of talking about a different world. Like these are the shows, and these are these are the movies that influenced generations to think about. I never considered going to an HBCU. I'm seeing this, and I want to go and I want to attend, because what's thrown in our faces, hey, if you go to Harvard, or if you go to these other, Ivy League schools, you'll get this. But I feel like, who was educating us when no one else was? It was the HBCU, and that legacy, I believe, definitely continues in athletics.
Well,
And
names. That's a good point, Val. But and so that stigma is out there, and there's always that conversation that there's a different experience or different quality of education. But let's throw some names out. One of the an entertainment mogul, Oprah Winfrey.
There you go.
Tennessee State, right? Come on now. Come on. I mean, more time.
Everybody fought Oprah like E.F. Hutton back in the day when Oprah taught anybody.
Right. But if you look at Oprah, I mean, what in that communication space with Harpo Studios, we can go on.
Right.
Our vice president, Howard. Yep. I mean, come on. I mean, so there's names you can throw out there, and we can go on and on that would speak to there's a quality education. And there's some information being transferred, because there's some very, very powerful and influential people in this country that have a HBCU history.
That's amazing. And the funny part about it is, Val, he mentioned about Covington, West Side Chicago guy, and then of course Dent. I just had an opportunity. We just had a senior luncheon this past weekend. I had a young opportunity, Val, to meet a young brother by the name of Kivion, defensive guy, senior from Proviso West Side of Chicago. He and I got to talking for a moment, and I was more proud of him because I told him, you came down here and you graduated. That's what's the most important. But you not only left Chicago, but you came to Nashville and you stuck it out. And he mentioned that he's been through multiple coaching changes, right? Multiple options. And you know how that go, Mikki. Sometimes you have a change, especially when you're an athlete, you bounce too. When the coach bounces, you bounce. This young man stayed the course, Val, and now he's reaping the year. He gets to play Notre Dame.
Yeah, Davion Bryant. This young man, he's close to receiving his master's degree. He's a brother, actually, of Robert Covington. He does everything we ask him to do. He is a leader on our team. Yes, he's had an experience where, he did have a coaching change when we brought in, Coach Eddie George, but he has stayed the course, and he is well respected by his peers, and he's going to go on to do great things. And we preach that on our campus, especially in athletics, that we want our student athletes to come in. They're very green. They don't know what they want to do outside of being an athlete. We developed a program called Becoming. We launched it last year. And the reason we tagged it Becoming is we want our student athletes to come in one form, but leave to become something else other than just an athlete. So we expose them to servant leadership. We expose them to industry. Some of them have an inclination of getting in music, some construction management, some entrepreneurship. So we're constantly putting that in their face and exposing them to it. And because we want them to become excellent and ambassadors for our university, and we're on the right track. I
was amazed. And Val, I can tell you, sitting at this lunch and listen to each of these young men come up and talk, and I talked to Eddie quite a bit, and Eddie and I had a conversation. I told him I was just really proud. You get some guys come in sometime, Mick, and they go to a certain program. It's about me. Mm-hmm. But to see the family, like I said, the becoming, and see what each of these young men had to say, that they become from boys to men basically within the program. And not only that, that Coach Eddie come in with not this huge thing of, hey, everybody I touch is going to go to NFL. I like that he's just simply said, I'm trying to develop these guys into young, strong men. So when they walk off this campus, they're ready for everything else in life. I thought that was pretty cool.
It's pretty cool, man. And that's our responsibility. That's why I'm in it. That's why I got in this business, to touch young men and young ladies, just to transfer the knowledge, that elevator down approach. And not only Coach George speaks that, but Penny Collins in basketball,
Coach Evans,
Danica Sutton in volleyball. She just won a championship. She has a young lady that's got in vet school at LSU.
Wow.
4.0, Gina Rivera, our best player, probably arguably of all time. She's going to get her doctorate. And then Coach Cheeseborough, the legendary track and field coach. You're going to go to class with Coach Cheese, tell you to go to class.
Oh, I'm going to run you up out of here, but on the real way.
Yeah. That track get long, baby.
Oh, man. That is awesome. I mean, and Val, they're sitting in the heart of Nashville, literally 5-10 minutes from downtown Nashville. Beautiful campus, beautiful background to the city. And that, if you haven't added this into your visit as a high school student going to college, rather, this has got to be one of your stop-alongs. Because as you mentioned, you got my guy, we had Coach Ty Evans on one night already, Mick. That's my Milwaukee brother.
Coach Ty, man, he's been at Auburn, Alabama, Georgetown, and St. Louis area, but he found the right home, and so he's doing well with with our women's program, and so But you mentioned Nashville. When I came in, I said, this big blue country, but we operate in Roar City. We put that roar in there, and they're gonna hear the roar in everything we do. But the city is growing.
Yes.
It's becoming more diverse. The scene is amazing. When we get kids on campus, they immediately want to go downtown. We actually have a stadium downtown. We have first right refusal to play in Nissan Stadium, so we do have a locker room in a pro stadium. That's branded Tennessee State. We take our young people there. We let them go on the field with the best player arguably to ever play for the organization in Eddie George. Right. Then we take them to Broadway and Fifth and let them see the scene, bright lights, big buildings. What else you want? We're going to plug you to Bridgestone. You want to work at Amazon? We're going to plug you in, but we're going to do athletics at a high level first. We're going to get across that stage, and then we want to retain our student athletes here because I say that speaks a lot about a city when you look at a college program, athletic program, or just an institution in general. When an individual graduates, do they stay in that city?
Right. Hey, I'm going to tell you that.
They don't take that learning somewhere else. We wanted to stay here.
I bumped into my classmate, Mick, to tell you that, who's a TSU graduated 20 years later at the stop sign on Charlotte, right by NES one day. And I ain't seen him since we came out of Chicago together. And all of a sudden I look over and there he is, man. So, obviously when he graduated, he didn't leave. And Val will tell you right now, even the buzz in Chicago, Nashville is the new Chicago, as we say at home, because you got more Illinois plates than any other city that's here. And it's a quick jump on Southwest, get home in an hour and 40 minutes or 30 minutes. And it's a quick drive right up 65. So in the city,
I seen that ILA. I see the little blue in there. Come on now, I seen it. Yeah, I love it. I love it.
Oh so, all right, let me go ahead and wrap this up. The team, the U.S. team, they recently won. They medaled from the track team. I guess athletics, as people try to say, it's important to any collegiate program. And you have definitely have spoken well of multiple programs, not only athletics, but as I look at these talented athletes that won and medaled, I think overseas, I think it was in Hungary. Was it in Hungary?
Budapest.
Right. How important is it for are the student athletes at TSU to how important is it for them to be prepared for like an international stage such as this one, for like the kids here that won and medaled for track and field? Because you athletics director, that's all the athletics, that's basketball, that's track,
it's
everything.
15 sports,
yeah.
and we introduced club hockey as well at the end of the draft. So we're gonna break some ice there and get in that space. But as I look at that picture, and you look at those individuals here that won the medal and represented the U.S., you just think of the journey that they had to go through to get there, and the times when things were not necessarily great, but they had to keep being resilient and working through, right? And understanding that there's an end goal. And, you know, it's the mindset. It's in between the ears. And that's what I think athletics and how it transcends into life. And there's so many life lessons, but, you know, that's the pinnacle. And it's so great to see, you know, young people, specifically people of color, achieve greatness, especially for our young people on our campus, because they aspire to reach the pinnacle, to medal, to be on a draft stage with the commissioner in whatever sport. But you know, we definitely love when we see this. I think it bodes well and speaks to the country. There's a lot. I mean, you see now on social media, there's so many youth. These young people are starting at 4 or 5 years old, and you got the helicopter parents. You know, training them so early. I'm like, man, I got 2 at home, and my son, he's gonna be a baller. But I let him kind of develop, and you don't have to rush it.
Let him develop. That's what I did with my son. Let him develop,
man. Because when you get in it and you start doing it at a high level, it's a full-time deal. And so, and you have to juggle academics. And so on our campus, we know that there's a huge responsibility to being a student athlete. We try to meet our kids in that mental space to make sure that we have all the resources around them. When things are up, when things are down, we're still here for them. And we're going to be advocates for their success.
That's awesome. That's what it's about. And that's what that big blue nation talk about, you guys. Again, you know, Val the voice, and I'm Coach T. But we got Dr. Mikki Allen, Tennessee State University AD, on with us tonight. Man, Dr. Allen, we appreciate you, man. Really appreciate your time tonight. And, man, I'm expecting, you know, Coach George to take these boys out on the field. I'm hoping everything he's been pushing in them every day this week, when you guys ready to hit that bus tomorrow and get out of here, or Thursday, get out of here. I'm hoping I bless these young men, go up and just put their best effort forward on that field Saturday. Win, lose, or draw, if they can play their best game, man, that's all I'm expecting them to do.
No, we appreciate that. Wishing us well. We're going to compete hard on NBC. You all continue breaking ground and doing great things on Interludes Extra. Tune in to Val the Voice Johnson and Coach Thompson.
Hey, we're going to have you back up on here when you bring that hockey team.
Okay.
That'll be fun to see. Dr. Allen, that'd be wonderful.
Team full of hockey players up there at the HBCU, man. I got to hear about this.
Oh my God. Yeah. So we'll be rooting for you for the Saturday show, and we thank you so very much, Dr. Allen, for being here. Be blessed, sir.
All right,
man. Yo, baby, appreciate it.
All
right, peace. Oh my gosh, you always bring the dopest guest.
Man,
Dr.
I told
Allen, you. Wow, come on. And you see what Eric said. Let me bring up his, come up here. He says, dope show. Thank you, man. Eric.
Let me tell you something. Hey, you know, sometimes you got to play like Ali and rope-a-dope. You know what I'm saying? You got to rope-a-dope. And then you got to come out in that 11th to 12th round back with the 15-ounce gloves back in the day. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Mama named him Clay. I'm going to call him Clay.
And wasn't that a wonderful, wasn't a nice, wonderful alley-oop? He said, check us out, Val the Voice. I'm like, oh my gosh, he's going to be our hype man. What wonderful.
That's my guy. Dr. Allen does his thing, and I'm telling you, the big thing and the big takeaway that I heard, from listening to him is that TSU, no matter what program, has done a heck of a job of balancing academics and athletics. And these young men are coming out, and these young women are coming off the campus, coming from various cities across the U.S. into Nashville, Val, graduating, and then the university is helping and allowing them to be placed in opportunities that help them grow in the future. That's huge.
And your friend Chris said it's always good to talk about the HBCUs because there is a lot of talent academically and athletically. My son wants to go to an HBCU. So
well, we're gonna connect to Chris. I got you. I'm gonna make sure he get connected. So we good.
I mean, so that if we can do that influence anyway, and if you're interested in seeing the Notre Dame and TSU, yes, that's it. I have to say very briefly.
NBC this Saturday on NBC, whatever station that is in your market, NBC, 12 p.m. Eastern time. So if you're in the South, that's 11 in the morning your time. Out West, you better get up early. But it's going to be on NBC, and it is going to be the Notre Dame Fighting Irish versus our beloved Tennessee State University Tigers.
Yeah, and I'm grateful that this will be the very first time we'll see an HBCU team play against a first division school like Notre Dame.
And the crazy part about it is, the thing that what I got from Dr. Allen was saying is, sometimes, when you play a major PWI like that, because of the difference in probably talent and money, they could sometimes treat you like a stepchild. But did you hear how he said they opened the door? You got
right.
alumni are talking to one another, setting up parties. And I think he said like the cheerleaders or the pom-pom group at Notre Dame is opening up their houses and dorms up to the TSU kids. I mean, can you imagine the experience if you were either an athlete, not even an athlete, but just imagine if you were at TSU and you were a pom-pom or in a band, and you get a chance to talk about this as part of when you were at school back in the 2000s, right? And you guys had an opportunity to play this game against Notre Dame for the first time, nationally televised. Not even nationally, but worldwide.
Worldwide.
Across the country.
And thank you so very much for putting that in the chat. I always, I saw Mr. Springer over the weekend in person when I was in Brooklyn, and it was just good to see him. I'm still snacking on the candy that you gave me. Thank you so very much, because that poor child always got candy with him. But go ahead and tune in. Tune in this Saturday, September 2nd. I can't believe we're in September.
And 3/4 of the way.
Right, exactly. And if you have the streaming service Peacock, you can definitely see this game on Peacock.
Exactly.
So because we're national and we're all over the place. But thank you so much for tuning in today for this wonderful episode of Interludes Extra Talk on Tuesday. We're sponsored by Legal Shield. If you need help with your business, with will or a trust, go ahead and text the word legal to 347-652-0243 or visit our website, linktr.ee/Pure Light Media. I'll ask Kevin to go ahead and place it in the chat. And Interludes, we're celebrating our 3rd anniversary. We're taking an audio break. We'll be back strong in the middle of September with our audio episodes. I think I might audio episode this one. I think I might do that for tomorrow.
This definitely got to run, because we got to support what them brothers get ready to go do. So we want everybody here.
Yeah. So if you go and for many of the folks that listen to the audio episode, your audio episode will be what you just saw tonight. But definitely so very much, no doubt, Val the Voice, I appreciate you guys. And as we conclude, guys, please tune in. Tell your friends, subscribe. We are so close. I think the last time I checked, we were at 423. We need 500 subscribers. So tell your friends. Tell your cousins, tell your folks to go ahead
Tell
and
your mama
subscribe to
them.
the
Tell your
hottest.
mama them, your auntie
Tell your
them, your
mama and
cousin them,
the auntie
everybody
and
in them. Right. And your neighbors in them, everybody in them. To push the subscribe button. And of course, with my sidekick, that Val the voice, and you already know me, Coach Tony, we're gonna continue to do this Interludes Talk on Tuesday. We'll keep giving it to you, baby. Keep giving it to you.
All right. So we'll be back right after Labor Day, and we'll see you guys. Have a blessed evening and continue to celebrate Michael.
I
Michael.
like
And
it.
peace.